Did it beep?
No. Yep. Come on. Get a freshman on you. Hey, Mr. Daphne, how you doing?
I'm good, Reggie. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm doing fine, sir. So I see that you have another part of this segment that continues. And do you want to explain what this is about?
Yes.
Well,
I'd
before
like
we
to say
before we begin, let's start off as usual.
I would like to say all praise due to Allah, the most benevolent, the most merciful. I want to state that I love my mother, I love my father, I have love for the mother of our child, and I love our son. This is a letter that I filed with the court August 15, 2018 to the district attorney, Ed Barbarian, at the time. And I wanted to state for the record that this is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. So this is a letter to the district attorney, Ed Barbarian, and a notice of void temporary ex parte order, notice of void custody visitation order, notice of special appearance. And I wanted to read that to you guys out there.
Okay, thank you, sir. So let me face this, and you can go ahead and read it. Yes.
Oh, just come around because of the names.
No, okay.
So,
So I can do it from over here.
Dear Ed Barbarian, District Attorney, I, Wayne Dauphine, am submitting this letter to you to inform you of the crimes and lawful acts that have and are taking place in the Marin County Superior Family Court, Marin County District Attorney's Office, and Marin Department of Child Support Services. I am a victim of a criminal conspiracy where the following agencies and agents are acting under color of law, authority, and office: Marin County Superior Court, Marin County District Attorney's Office, Novato Police Department, Marin DCSS, Marin County Child Protective Services, Marin Youth and Family Services, Johanna Kleppe, Judge Adams, Salma Tijero, Sandra Hirschfield, Michelle Moniz, Jill Francis, Leon Tam, Chris Hahn, and Commissioner Longaker. I have informed Marin County Court Administration, Marin County Council, Consumer Fraud Department, and Marin County District Attorney's Office, Marin County District's Attorney's Office, and they are negligent in their actions. They acquiesce to my allegations and are present to work and collect their paycheck. They are aware that the crimes are being committed and are negligent pursuant to PC 137, California Penal Code. I have witnessed cases being rigged and fixed by Johanna Kleppe, attorney for the mother of our child, and Judge Adams. Johanna Kleppe has openly fabricated evidence, divided domestic violence, scam using a fraudulent domestic violence restraining order with the mother of our child and Judge Adams to receive free housing, services, grant, money, and state and federal funding, and join in judicial, prosecutorial, and criminal misconduct, committed perjury and or has made false statements, has intentionally lied about material facts, has openly committed fraud upon the court with the coaching, collusion, nepotism, and support by Judge Adams, has encouraged vexatious and frivolous litigation to bill her client $40,000 to $100,000, has supported and helped in the creation of false, void court documents and forgeries, has devised a plot of extortion, blackmail, and kidnapping of our son. There is an incestuous relationship going on between Johanna Kleppe and Judge Adams. Whether it is sexual or professional is not for me to decide. Is professional misconduct being displayed by Judge Adams and Johanna Kleppe and their mutual membership to Marin County Women Lawyers Group has caused injury to our son and myself. This matter should be looked in by the Marin County District Attorney's Office. The bond between Judge Adams and Johanna Kleppe share violates canon law, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, California Code of Civil Procedure, and the Code of Ethics and Conduct of the Bar Association. Judge Adams has fixed and rigged this case with Johanna Kleppe, co-conspirator, helped and conspired in a domestic violence scam, lowered custody and visitation to increase state and federal grant funding through Title 4D, AB 1058 Child Support Commissioner and Family Law Facilitator Program, gave out restraining orders without evidence, and has violated the Equal Protection Clause of the United States Constitution and due process, has permitted and allowed perjury and fraud upon the court with Michelle Moniz, Johanna Kleppe, Chris Hahn, and Commissioner Longaker, has promoted fraud upon the court and has committed fraud upon the court in the creation of void ab initio, quorum non-judice, child support orders, void custody/visitation orders, and void ex parte orders, has ignored evidence of criminal, judicial, and prosecutorial misconduct by Johanna Kleppe, Michelle Moniz, and Commissioner Longaker, has ignored precedents, has deviated from the presumption of truth in affidavits without cause or reason, has criminalized me due to my race, religion, and creed, has issued a false domestic violence restraining order against me for informing the appellate court and California Supreme Court about her misconduct with Johanna Kleppe. Judge Adams is extorting me to pay money to see our son. Leon Tan of Marin Child Support during July 2017 stated that child support is voluntary. I was told by Marin Child Support Services staff that child support is mandatory. Marin DCSS and their staff has used fraud inducement, fraud concealment, and fraud in execution to defraud me of my money and property. They have violated due process laws and the U.S. Constitution. There is no such thing as an expedited due process. This is a case law. The administrative child support due process governed by Minnesota Statute 5.18.5511 is unconstitutional because it violates the separation of powers doctrine required by the Minnesota Constitution, Article 3, State of Minnesota and Court of Appeals, filed June 12, 1998. Another case law. The administrative child support process created by Minnesota Statute 5.18.5511 in 1996 violates the separation of powers doctrine by infringing on the district court's original jurisdiction by creating a tribunal which is not inferior to the district court, and by permitting child support officers to practice law. Therefore, the statute is unconstitutional. State of Minnesota and Supreme Court filed January 28, 1999, Office of Appellate Courts. Another case law. The statutory substantial compliance requirement 42 U.S.C. 609A8 does not give rise to individual rights. It was not intended to benefit children and custodial parents, but is simply a yardstick for the Secretary to measure the system-wide performance of state Title 4D program, allowing for her to increase the frequency of audits and reduce the state's federal grant upon a finding of substantial non-compliance. The Court of Appeals also erred in taking a blanket approach to determine whether Title 4D creates rights. Blessing versus Freestone, 520 U.S. 329, 1997. Michelle Moniz, attorney for Marin Department of Child Support Services, has committed perjury and has openly made false statements on interrogatories pursuant to Penal Code 118, U.S. Code 1621, perjury generally. I explained this to Judge Adams during a new de novo hearing, and she ignored the evidence pursuant to 18 U.S. Code 1622, subordination of perjury. I explained this to Commissioner Longaker, and he suppressed the evidence as well, pursuant to 18 U.S. Code 1622, subordination of perjury. Commissioner Longaker has also committed perjury and has created false court documents, and void ab initio, quorum non-Judish child support orders pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1691, seal and test of process, Penal Code 470, Penal Code 115. Commissioner Longaker stated that he is a commissioner, judge, and a judicial officer. He has made false statements, and the idea of him holding multiple positions simultaneously in the executive branch and judicial branch of government is a fraud and a fraud misrepresentation. Commissioner Longaker cannot be a judge, child support commissioner, judicial officer, and a commissioner simultaneously pursuant to Government Code 1099. I asked Commissioner Longaker, Michelle Moniz, to validate child support debt, proof of an oath in office, writ of execution, writ of garnishment, court order from a trial by jury, a search warrant, notice of levy, proof of an undertaking. He refused and had me assaulted by the Marin County Sheriff's Department Deputy Corinne and had me removed from the child support hearing and removed from the premises. This is not the conduct of a judge, child support commissioner, judicial officer, or any government agent. These acts are those of an imposter, tortfeasor, usurper, and/or interloper. No competent person would cause injury to another for asking for clarification of evidence. No competent person would make a fake court order or fake child support order. No competent judge would enforce a fake court order. In this case, Judge Adams, in enforcing a void child support order, is being used to steal my money and my property without a search warrant or court order from a trial by jury. They are using this incomplete written instrument, which is void, to defraud me of my money. A case law. A judgment which is void upon its face and which requires only an inspection of the judgment roll to demonstrate its want of vitality is a dead limb upon a judicial tree, which should be lopped off if the power to do so exists. People versus Green, 1771 Cal 100. If a court grants relief, which under the circumstances it hasn't any authority to grant, this judgment is to the extent void. 1 Freeman on Judgments 120C, and the legal order is forever void. Chris Hahn, Deputy Clerk, Michelle Moniz, and Commissioner Longaker reviews whiteout on and over signatures and has made unauthorized alterations on an incomplete written instrument for a child support order. The clerk's office stated that they do not accept documents with whiteout. These actions have voided a void ab initio quorum non-judice child support order. The idea of voiding a void ab initio instrument is a contradiction. I met with Sandra Hirschfield of Marin County Youth and Family Services on July 16, 2018, to the best of my recollection. These are bi-monthly meetings that we attend with our son. I was informed Sandra Hirschfield of some things related to our son. I explained that I was concerned with his well-being, and Sandra told me not to worry. When I went to Novato at 1:40 p.m. on July 20th to pick up our son for visitation, I was prevented from. It was alleged that Sandra Hirschfield made a complaint of child abuse against me, and the mother of our child and Johanna Kleppe obtained a good cause order from Salma Tijero, District Attorney Inspector, to prevent me from seeing our son. Sandra Hirschfield failed to act and is negligent pursuant to Article 2.5 Child Abuse and Neglect Reporting Act 11164-2, 11117 4.3. I spoke to Salma Tijero on July 20th late in the afternoon. She confirmed that she gave Michael Moon a good cause order. I asked her, was this order signed by a judge? Did she have a warrant to seize my property and evidence against me? She said that she did not have those requirements. I asked her by what authority is she acting under. She refused to answer. The good cause order is void ab initio quorum non judice pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1691, seal and test the processes PC 470 and PC 115. Salma has used this good cause order to defraud me of seeing our son, which violates due process, equal protection of the law, and the supremacy clause. No district attorney staff will promise protection and make secret deals with the mother or child and her attorney, Johanna Kleppe. No district attorney staff would aid and abet the mother or child and Johanna Kleppe in the kidnapping of our son. No district attorney staff would not have the proper paperwork and violate the U.S. Constitution. It is clear that Salma Tijero is operating under color of law, authority, and office. Salma Tijero does not represent the Marin County District Attorney's Office in these actions, working in her private capacity. This concludes my letter and my passing my information of a criminal syndicate and or criminal racketeering which involves the above-mentioned parties. I have done my due diligence informing you of my knowledge of crimes taking place in the Marin County Superior Court, Marin Department of Child Support Services, Marin County Youth and Family Services, Marin County District Attorney's Office, and criminal acts committed by Judge Adams, Johanna Kleppe, Michelle Moniz, Leon Tam, Sandra Hurstfield, Salma Tijero, Commissioner Longaker, etc. Thank you for your time concerning this matter. And I signed this letter under penalty of perjury. I was thinking I should probably just show the rest of these, just the fake stuff, because I don't know if we have time to.
Yeah, we got time, Mr. Delphine. Let's take a gander at what you're talking about there.
I think we have time.
Yes.
What time is it?
You just want to show the paperwork that you say was fake
Yeah.
that they gave you.
Yes.
Okay,
Do
so,
we have time to read?
well, if we don't
Probably
have
not,
time to
yeah.
read it all, I'm sure we have time to present it to the people so they can take a look at it.
Yeah, but I didn't block the thing out. So here we go. So this is the good cause order that Salma Tijero gave me from the Marin County District Attorney's Office. This basically is void on its face because under 28 U.S.C. 1691, it's not stamped by a court and signed by a judge or the clerk thereof. So this is basically a forgery to abduct our child. And from the fake domestic violence restraining order that they placed upon my record, they have used this fake good cause order to kidnap our son.
And this is what was given to you from the judge.
This was given to me by Salma Tijero, District Attorney Inspector for Marin County. But it stated this is a forgery under PC 470 and PC 15. This is something that anyone could have made. It's just a stamp. It's not signed by a judge or anything of that nature.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a fake paper.
That seemed like it shouldn't have no validity about anything. I mean, it just looked like something someone just typed up and it means nothing.
They're just using the intimidation of them being the Marin County District Attorney's Office, but they're a corporation like anyone else, and they're in cahoots with the court.
And this is supposed to be a legal document.
Yes, and it's not signed by a judge, and it says Office of the District Attorney, County of Marin, Child Abduction Good Cause Report Form. So it's a report form, but then they're saying it's a court order. So that's a fraud in itself. It can't be an order because they don't have any judicial power to do that. This is a corporation, the district attorney, as a silent petitioner to use this good cause form to petition me into the court. So they're silent petitioners involved in this case. Let me see what else. This again, even though I stated this in the last video or the videos before, these are just the fake court orders from the Child Support Commissioner. So I'll just go over these quick. This is blank, the petitioner. And this, I believe, is the findings and recommendations of Commissioner FL 685. FL 665. This is void ab initio quorum non judice, and it's incomplete. They left this petitioner blank, and they filed this, which is also a fraud. But since this is $1 billion industry with money, they could get away with this fraud. So this is void on its face. I put these pink things to block out the case of the mother of our child. So if you see these and other ones, you'll know. This is, again, the continuation of FL 665 with Commissioner Longaker signing this. But this is also a forgery because he has no legal authority to sign anything because he's in the executive branch of government. So the idea of him writing a court order is a fallacy or a fraud. So this is void ab initio quorum non judice as stated from the other paper. This is another paper, FL 688, a short order form for after the hearing. So once again, this is a forgery under PC 470, PC 115, and also the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. You have them making redactions and using stuff with markers. And these are people with the court. Not even an amateur would do anything like this. And this is incompetence in its rawest form that you have Michelle Moniz and Commissioner Longaker writing up fake and forged documents. You would think that they would go to law school and not do illegal activities. So once again, this is a forgery. It's void on its face. This is another order, FL 630. And once again, they use markers. This is fake, and this is their child support where they've been lying to the public, telling people that this is for the benefit of the children. But as stated, this is a forgery. And once again, you have judges and commissioners using markers and crossing stuff out. So this would be void. And this is a forgery because they put my name on here and I never agreed to these terms. And they already voided the voidable instrument. So these people never had the authority to do this, but this is them acting in color of law and violating their oath of office by writing these fake court orders.
It's crazy to think that they can get away with something like this in America. I mean, we're supposed to have the best courts in the land. I mean, there's supposed to be no one to compare. And they're just passing out documents with markers, documents that's not authentic. It's like, here, let me give you anything just because I have to, but it don't have nothing to back it up, no weight to it. What do you say about that?
Well, I would say, Reggie, you're very right, and you make a very good point. As always, alhamdulillah. They have to make it seem that it's legal, and they have to at least get people to comply. So the whole child support is voluntary because there's no contract that you could be forced into. And their whole idea of child support is a fraud because Marin County and the court, they have a cooperative agreement to violate people's constitutional rights. So they're writing these fake court orders, and their whole thing of the child support is fake. Because for one reason, they can't even fill out a legitimate contract. You can't be forced into a contract. Another reason is that they're violating the due process. They use fake orders to get you into this fake proceeding, and their only gain is to get you to pay this money and steal money by any means so they could get the federal bonus dollars as stated from AB 1058, Child Support Commissioner and Family Law Facilitator Program, that the funding of the Title 4D is 66% from the federal government and 34% from the state. So it's stated they're very sloppy. The DA is not going to do anything because this money is going to the state treasury. So they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
So what do you say, now I'm going to play the devil's advocate. What do you say to all those naysayers that say, get over it, just pay them the money, or you deadbeat dad, you just don't want to pay? What do you say to those people?
Well, I will say this, that, you know, God has created man, and, you know, we create offspring, and that's the beautiful bond of marriage from God. And these people are making these statements because they haven't studied and they're brainwashed. So at a time I was brainwashed about the child support, and as stated in other interviews, I really believed it was for the children. And I wanted to cooperate with them. But what tripped me up was when they said that, you know, they're going to, excuse me.
I know this is a touching question because I know that you're a good dad. I know that you do way above and beyond the call of duty of what a dad does at times for your children, for your son. But at the same time, there are people in the public that say deadbeat dads, pay the child support, but they don't never say nothing about the mothers who take this child support money and spend it on themselves, their car notes, their hair, their nails, or they don't never say nothing about the mothers who don't even receive the money that the fathers pay off toward their children. So there's a lot of behind the scenes that a lot of people don't understand. That's why I want you to put it in in layman terms for the public.
Okay, I was going to say, Reggie, that, you know, we have a duty as men to take care of our offspring. But the state is involved for the federal bonus dollars. So they're using the kid as a lie so they could get money, and this is how they balance their budgets. They put this money in the state treasury and they pull it out as a general fund so they can make money. They use it as a racketeering, but since it's the government, they could get away with this kind of stuff. So the idea is that it's color of law, but if you understand that these government agencies or for-profit businesses, you will understand that they're operating as corporations. From the last video we made, the child support is on Mana.com as a private corporation. The U.S. Supreme Court is on Dun and Bradstreet as a private corporation. So we've been brainwashed to just believe what we hear, and we don't do the research. So as I stated earlier, that I really believe that child support was for the children, but then I found out it was a grant program, and then all these individuals that I've named in this video were playing their part in the fraud and the conspiracy. So as men and as women, we should take care of our offspring, but the state trying to be a partner in the lawsuit to tell you how to raise your children is unconstitutional and illegal. But since this is a billion-dollar industry all over the United States, that is why it's unconstitutional. The higher courts, like the appellate court and the California Supreme Court, are protecting the judge's interests, and they're operating under color of law. So I've showed them these fake court papers and fraudulent documents, tried to speak with the FBI on the Twitter, and no one wants to touch this stuff.
Yes, because I know of people personally who lost their job and they still was expected to pay the same amount every month, who it went into the rears, and it seemed like the interest rates went up and up astronomically. And I know of guys who lost their job and was incarcerated behind not being able to make their payments. So it's like, where's the empathy for a father who is trying, who tried, and who just failed by default of something just unfortunate happening in their lives, taking ill, losing their job, and you still expect the same payments? This is what I see that's being done, just like these fraudulent papers you just showed everyone. So, I mean, they do not take it into no kind of consideration that in life things happen for the good, for the bad. But we all supposed to be human and we're supposed to pull through it together. But they rather just put a man in jail, take a man license, and just because of something he can't handle. What you think about that?
You're absolutely right, Reggie, and I'll say it to wrap it up, because that they never had the legal standing. Everything was fake. From the court orders being fake, them using whiteout, the commissioner has no legal authority, so the whole thing is a scam. The Bar Association and the courts support it because it's making money to the state treasury. So it's all a fraud. So all these people, as stated in our other videos, have been robbed out of their money and made poor. But you have to understand, this country was built on slavery. So child support is a modern day slavery, what you call peonage, but it's through a debt. They make up a debt that doesn't exist so they could fund their private corporations or their government. So the whole thing is a fraud. Anything that's made out of fraud would incur damages. So in a real sense, the state of California would have to pay for what they've done, for all these lawsuits, people killing their spouses over this child support. And I'll say that for our next video, Reggie, we'll speak on Sandra Hurstfield, the lady from the Marin County Family Youth Services that made the false child abuse claims. But thank you for your time and allowed me to express my thoughts and opinions.
And thank you, Mr. Delphine, once again for bringing everyone into the known, into the consciousness of what's going on. And once again, the ends justify the means. This is Reggie and Mr. Delphine, and we'd like to bid you all a farewell until next time.
Okay, I'm